Let's welcome into the show. We'll just throw him right in the mix here with us. Our own John Foley joins us now. He's at 2008 Phils on Twitter. John has been doing some great write-ups this week on allphly.com, so make sure you're checking that out. John, welcome in, buddy. Obviously, that's not Renee.
I'm not.
What's going on?
What's up,
Good
John?
to see you.
So, John, we were just talking about the Heyman report this morning that says the Phillies are very much in on both Jordan Hicks and Robert Stevenson from the Braves. I actually ate the poop online last night because I saw Tyler Stevenson, the catcher. I was grilling a nice little flank steak for the fam.
Did you bring
And
it
I
in?
saw Stevenson signs $2.5 million, and I was like, why didn't they get him? And I'm, cooking and like half reading. And then I get a text, dude, that's the catcher, Stevenson, not the relief pitcher. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, he's not taking JT's. Yeah.
So, John, your thoughts on Jordan Hicks and Robert Stevenson possibly being the targets of the Phils?
I love it. Go get them. I mean, that's exactly what they need. I think I prefer Hicks over Stevenson, just because 104, 105. I don't know. That's just fun. I'd love for them to sign him, but they do. They need a righty that can handle high leverage situations. You hope Orion can be that guy, but you have a chance now to go out and bolster and make a backup plan. So maybe you've got Orion more as like a 6th or 7th inning guy, let him develop, and then pair a righty like Hicks with Alvarado. Now you've got something going. That's a pretty nasty bullpen. So I'd really like to see them go out and do that at this stage of the offseason. We're past looking for big moves. We know Shohei Ohtani's not coming here. But
yeah, unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not. With but going to the postseason last year, they were sort of forced to bring up Orion and make him a high leverage guy. They were sort of forced to play Rojas in center field, even though he was overmatched at the plate. I would hate to see them make that same mistake going into this regular season and go in with that as the plan. Now we hope that's how it turns out, that Orion and Rojas develop into the guys we think they can be. But if these free agents are sitting around there, they're not going to break the bank. Hicks isn't going to break the bank. Tommy Pham or one of these other right-handed bats for left field isn't going to break the bank. Why not, give yourself a little wiggle room and a little bit of a plan B if these kids don't pan out as expected?
Yeah. So, John, something I go back and forth, and they absolutely have to do one of them. And it looks like Bullpen might be first up here. And they clearly like Rojas. I think we all do. But, man, that automatic outness in the playoffs was a killer. But maybe they're viewing it as Bullpen now. If Rojas doesn't work out, the trade deadline is how we patch the outfield. That could be their thinking. And if Dave Dombrowski told me that, I'd be like, all right, fine. As long as you're willing to pay at the trade deadline, because it's championship window closing time. And they have to, have those insurance policies in place just in case.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's a reasonable point of view. It's a reasonable approach. They would actually have to do it because one thing we hear every offseason is, well, we didn't get this taken care of. We didn't get that taken care of, but we'll do it at the trade deadline. And then the trade deadline comes around and, it's tougher. And you're trading away. You have to give something to get something. Whereas right now, $5-10 million, a 1-year deal, you can solve a problem. So, it would be reasonable. Maybe we don't know what the asking price is for these free agents. So maybe they're just holding out until later in the off season, or maybe it's an issue that lingers to the trade deadline. The advantage of that is it would give you a chance to put Rojas out there, see what he's got. If he's batting like 200, 195 in August, make the move then. But I would love to have somebody there for the full start of the season. Avoid with these slow starts that we've had the past few years.
Go back into the bullpen, John, quickly here. We were talking about Hoffman a little bit earlier because they took care of him, made sure he's back and he's locked in. You mentioned Kerkering. And the one that we did talk about briefly, but bring it up to you now, is Sir Anthony Dominguez, and where he fits into all of that, because last season wasn't one of his best. And when we saw him during the World Series year, the thought was that they were set now. Alvarado, Kimbrel coming in, and Sir Anthony back in his role once, came back and could contribute. So how do you view him, and how important is it for him to come back and solidify a certain role once we get to the season starting?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big question mark, right? You did feel like he was that guy, and during that 2022 postseason run, you felt great about Alvarado.
Yeah.
If you needed a lefty, you felt great about Sir Anthony if you needed a righty, and you need that. But I don't think you can. From what we've seen more recently, I don't think you can count on Sir Anthony to be that guy right now. I think there's a lot of guys there in the mix, and hopefully either Sir Anthony or Kerkering, Hoffman, if he can replicate the success he had last year, although that success was a little unprecedented for him, so it's risky to count on him too. You sort of feel like maybe somebody will emerge and be that righty you can count on to pair with Alvarado, but would love to have somebody else in the mix there, especially Hicks and that 105 fastball.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Passan's right. I think the Phillies are going to do something in this next week. I wouldn't be surprised. I think on the short list, and this is how I know Tyler Zuli's sick in the head, because he's away on a vacation right now up in the Poconos, which is what lovely wife got for him as either a birthday or Christmas gift. And he's here in the chat talking about Phil Maton. Tyler, get the hell out of here. Go drink some alcohol and get on the slopes with your buddies. But yes, I think Phil Maton, Hector Neris, Stevenson, and possibly Hicks. I think one of those four is going to happen over this next week. It seems like things are kind of starting to ramp up a little bit during this arbitration period. Passan said is when you can expect to see some heavy movement.
Yeah, hope so. And the Phillies sort of telegraphed that they wouldn't be big players early on, but then after the bigger pieces moved, that they could jump in later in the offseason on some of these mid-tier free agents. So this feels like about the right time for that to start happening. And and sure, maybe bullpen first and then address the outfield, but you're not superstar hunting here. I feel like you can
exactly.
I feel like later this week you could easily picture an outfield bat and a right-handed reliever joining the team in the next week or so.
All right, so John,
I can picture it anyway. I hope they do it.
Yeah, I can picture it. Hopefully,
I can picture lots of them
too. I want to throw this bonkers theory that I had a conversation with our own Vince here at the offices this morning. And Devon, I want your opinion on this too.
Okay.
Because sometimes Vince is a little crazy, and he cooks up some crazy ideas. Now, the Marlins are allegedly shopping the NL batting champion Luis Arraez. The Phillies need that type of contact hitter. I think would be like the perfect complement to this lineup. Vince went and said right away without hesitating, go get him. And I went, Vince, where the hell is he going to play? And he goes, oh, this is simple. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, simple my ass. Where is he going to play? You're not moving Turner. You're not moving Stott. And he goes, you're not moving Stott. And I went, all right, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, you put Turner in center field, which, mind you, he hasn't played since 2016.
And this is on an everyday basis.
On a championship. I think maybe platooning with Marsh. And anyway, he wants Arraez to play shortstop, which he hasn't done for more than, I think, 10 games in his career. He wants Trey Turner to play center field, which he hasn't done since 2016. And he wants Luis Arraez to be the shortstop, Bryson Stott to be the second baseman, Trey Turner playing center field. Your thoughts, both of you?
I see where he's going.
I think we solved the Alec Bohm problem. We just put him at third base. Put Trey Turner at third base.
I was like, Vince, I love you, but you're crazy, man. You're always cooking.
I mean, it's a little crazy, but I see where he was going. I mean, you do want. That's exactly the type of guy they're missing. You'd love to have that high contact bat in the lineup. And if it takes something crazy to make it happen, then I could see it. If it was a fancy baseball team or a video game, I think
fantasy would be awesome. Yeah,
that's perfect. You just pop them right in, Trey in center.
You just do it and you figure it out later. That's how
you figure it out.
Defense, who cares?
Figure it out later.
Yeah. I will say Trey Turner. I looked up his stats. I think he played 48 games in center field in 2016. He had a .980 fielding percentage, which isn't terrible. But again, Luis Arraez hasn't played much short. So then you're asking it's like when an offensive lineman goes down in football, do you want to replace him with his backup, or do you want to slide somebody over and replace two positions?
The versatile guy.
Yeah, it's like
swing guy.
Do I really want to replace two positions, one of them being the most important defensive position on the field? Actually, two of the most important positions on the field.
And to Vince's outlandish thing here,
he's always cooking in the lab.
We were talking about Trey Turner's defense, right? At shortstop, because of the list that has him 6. Now we're asking him to go in the center field. So where is he going to rank out there?
Not well.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think changing the position, even though he can start off in spring training and get all the work in, even before spring training, get all the work in.
Vince had his tinfoil hat on with that one.
Yes,
he's got a little support in the chat. A couple people, Randy Rubert likes him.
Yes, Vince. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Hypothetical Man said this is diabolical. It is diabolical.
Again, figure it out later. You go get the guy, you figure it out later. But that's asking a lot.
I mean, watch stuff there. I mean, Harper has center field experience.
Exactly.
You can put him there.
Go get Cody Bellinger. Put him in left field, and
just let's blow the whole thing up.
We did want the Cody Bellinger thing. We did want that.
Yeah, that would be fun. And John, before you get out of here today, you are going to play Guess That Swing with us.
Guess That Swing, man.
Because I do want to play that with you. But yesterday, the Yankees add to the Death Star. They go get Marcus Stroman. It seems like this is really becoming a top-heavy league where, like the NFL is beautiful because every year you never know who it's going to be. There's always change. NBA, it's tough to repeat. There's always that openness. Now it really seems like this is going to be a Braves, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, Astros, and, maybe one other team type of league. And I like the super team aspect, John and Devon, but I'm worried about it at the same time because if it's the same 5 teams every single year, just based on how much money they're spending, I go back and forth whether it's good or not for the league.
Yeah, I hear you. And
I hate the Yankees, so there's that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've heard you discuss the super teams before, Jamie, and I do think it's good for baseball to have a villain. Sure. I like that villain being the Yankees over in the American League. And let's worry about
much
them,
easier,
especially when they lose, John. Right? They do all this stuff and then they still don't win.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So that's perfect. But the Dodgers do worry me. Like that, the idea that you get through the season and then you have to worry about both the Dodgers and the Braves in the postseason is troubling. I do wonder where the Phillies see themselves in this league that's becoming so top heavy. And they're solidly 3 in the NL pecking order, right? And you
behind
think
the Braves and the Dodgers.
Behind the Braves and the Dodgers, but there's that gap. And I don't know if they really want to make a push to close that gap or if they just see themselves happy to say, okay, we're going to camp out in this number 3 spot and do what we've done the last few years and turn things on in the postseason.
Because to your point, John, that gap between 3 and 4, the Mets are 4, in terms of odds. And I think there's a big gap between the Mets and Phillies. It seems like the gap is bigger from 3 to 4, I think, than it is from 3 to 2.
Especially in the postseason where, to your point, John, talking about the Phillies turning it up in the playoffs, they've already beaten them twice, and they feel like they can beat them, no matter them starting here in Philadelphia or in Atlanta.
The Braves are the one making the moves to counter the Phillies.
Yeah. They're on the defense where the Phillies are the ones that feel good going into that series.
Absolutely. I mean, if it comes to a third straight year playing against the Braves in the postseason, you got to feel good about the Phillies. I mean, I like that matchup, but then to have the Dodgers waiting as well, you just wonder. I don't know. It's such an arms race.
Part of the path, man.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it, you got to do it.
That's why it feels
very true.
Why do you want to be on the outside of that group looking in when just maybe 2 minimal moves can get you on an equal footing to some of those teams? It's like this should almost motivate the Phillies more.
And the minimal moves like a Hicks type of conversation.
A Hicks and say a veteran outfielder type, like he said, Tommy Pham. Somebody it's just like that insurance policy. It should motivate you to kind of push in as opposed to stay dormant. So we'll see what happens over this next week. Maybe something surprising happens and we're all happy, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Hope so. Dombrowski definitely gets the benefit of the doubt from me. Trust that he knows what he's doing here.
Unless it's arbitration.
But I hope they don't see themselves as, look, the Dodgers are so far ahead that we're not going to be that kind of team.
Yeah.
Let's just camp out in our wild card spot come October. You know, not the worst spot to be. I know where Herb was on yesterday talking about
God, poor Herb,
a White Sox fan.
Herb at CHGO, White Sox fan. If you wanted a little perspective in life about we don't have it that bad in Philadelphia, we live here and we're psychotic. So we always think it's worse than it is. Go talk to a White Sox fan. Man, you will feel great about being a Phillies fan.
Let me go check on Herb.
It was brutal.
I'll look that up when we're done.
I felt bad for him, man. People in the chat started a hashtag Free Herb movement.
Bring him here. Hang out with us
I
want
to offer him the Phillies as like an NL team.
Yeah.
Like, just come root for us. Yeah. He already had the shirt on and everything.
Yeah.
You know, so. And by the way, speaking of merch, there's a new merch drop on the website. Make sure you're checking out the locker room on all
PHLY Locker.
PHLYlocker.com.
Look at my hat, folks. You can get one of these on the
look at that hoodie season.
Hoodie season.
I got that on the way too.
PHLY Sixers. You know,
I'm a proud
Eagles.
Zamboner. I think I got to get that Michkov hoodie. That thing is nice.
Yeah,
looking.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah,
and
nice. Speaking of like being diehards,
you're not getting a cut or Gautier one.
No,
you sure?
No, I don't think so.
You sure about that? Okay.
Unless it's just a giant rat face. Speaking of membership here at PHLY, the Discord channel is part of the Die Hard membership package. And the Discord, I'm becoming a big Discord guy. Like, I'm really enjoying it because it's not Twitter. It's not filled with trolls. There's not like hate and, you know, like it's just like a good community. And if you become a diehard here at PHLY, you get membership to our Discord. The reason I bring it up is because, you know, Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles, obviously we know people are sick. And I know Flyers fans are sick in the head too. But the Discord channel on Flyers is out of control. Like, these, in a good way. And Charlie's in there and Bill's in there chopping it up with them. Man, Flyers fans are a different breed. They love their team. Like, the way we're talking about Phillies prospects.
They all came together, especially. Look, they're playing well, right?
Yeah.
But they all came together with this whole story with Gautier. So it's like, okay. All right. We had your back until now.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some people are like, well, be nice. He's making a business decision. And it's like, no, screw him.
No, add him to the list.
It's an unforgivable sin around here, man. There's nothing worse you can do to say you don't want to be here.
It's always, you know, that's what I always say, you know, the family business that we have here in the city, we can talk about us. Yeah, but you on the outside, you can't talk about us. Yeah. And now you just decided to leave us, so screw you and go have a good time in Anaheim.
It's pretty fun, the Discord. So if you're thinking about becoming a diehard, the Discord alone might be worth it, not to mention the discount on merch there. All right, John, before we let you go, we are going to incorporate you today with Guess That Swing. Now, we've done it. I'm 4 for 4. No big deal. Just want to say that for the record. No pressure, boys.
Me too.
It started on Monday. Ryan Howard, and then we went to Jimmy Rollins, then Chase Utley.
Saw that.
Yesterday's was Shane Victorino. If you're unfamiliar.
So are we only going past players?
It's 2006 to present day Phillies.
Okay.
So kind of when like the good times started, then there was a decade of ineptitude and miserableness. But now we're back. We're back to good Phillies. So today's Guess That Swing, Julia is going to hit us with.
Let's see this
and let's see how we do here.
See how it looks here.
And I will. Ooh. I got it. All right.
I have 2.
I got it.
I have 2. So how do we do this?
So I am going to Slack Julia. Or text her. And John, you can just throw it in Slack because mine will be submitted. Devon, if you want to.
I'll throw it in Slack.
Yeah, or DM Julia in Slack. Julia, Devon is going to slip into your DMs with the answer. I'm going to text you.
Jules.
I am my 5 for 5 record on the line here. John, how you feeling? You got a good guess?
I'm feeling good. I'm trying to. I think I got this one.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's very distinct to me. The 2-hand on the follow through, if I'm giving clues here, would be. I
think the hair's a little bit of a clue.
Yeah. He's got the flow, the lettuce, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Looks like the chat is fairly unanimous, all together there. Sorry, the bright lights. Yes, everybody's pretty much saying the same thing.
Okay.
So when you guys have submitted, speak up, and we will go over our answers and mock those who were wrong.
Okay. Hold on. I'm typing as we speak. Bang. Done.
I'm typing.
Right.
I'm typing. I'm saying I got mixed up on righty versus lefty.
All right. Julia has all 3 answers. Julia, are all 3 of us correct? Everybody gets it. It is Jason Worth.
Yes, it is.
Yes. John points out the hair. Yes, the hair was a giveaway. To me, it was the 2-hand follow through. And like he used to get pretty low.
It was that and the hair for me.
Yeah. Jason Worth, man, I loved.
I did too, and I thought he was unfairly attacked.
Totally
when he
unfairly.
Left. Like he wasn't supposed to take all of that money.
Well, let me not take $135 million.
What? Bad injury that dropped me to where I was. The GM had enough faith in me to bring me here to give me the opportunity. I overachieved, won the World Series, and someone threw a boatload of money at me. Yes, go take it.
Yeah.
And you know why Philadelphia fans didn't matter? Because you won the World Series.
Yeah.
Go get your money, man. And they go in and replace him anyway. So it's like, it's all good.
He went
to Washington. Yeah. Not your rival yet.
Who cares? And then he had that incident with the foul ball in right field where he like yelled at the kid. That one, all right. That was roast him for that one.
Yeah, you get him.
But not for taking the contract.
Nah, take the money, man.
I mean, I'll admit, I'll cop to being upset at the time.
Oh, come on, John.
He was breaking up the party. He was breaking up the party.
He was breaking up the crew.
Jason, in retrospect, of course, he's already won the World Series with us. Go get paid. And he ended up leaving at the perfect time when, the Nats started to take off and the Phillies started to get,
he did.
Started to be a mess. So
such a pretty swing. You know who I was convinced was going to be Jason Worth 2.0, and he didn't pan out. I think I just saw he signed in the Canadian Baseball League, maybe. Aaron Altair, I thought was going to be Worth 2.0.
Wasn't he like number 40 or something like that?
I can't remember his number.
Yeah.
But like swing-wise, they looked alike to me, and I was like, man, if this kid puts it together, he's Worth. And then I was still believing that the Phillies
he was the injured Worth.
Yeah, couldn't skip a beat and would just keep the good times rolling. And boy, how were we wrong?
He was discounted.
The things and the players we talked ourselves into from like 2013, 2017, 18. Mike
Calfranco is going to turn that corner any day now.
But see, that's every sport too, John, because I was in on what's my man's name from Oregon? Huff. The wide receiver, Josh Huff.
Driving over the bridge with fully loaded.
I was in on Josh Huff. I'm like, all right, Chip Kelly's here. He brought his guy. He might be a third, like a slot receiver, but he's got, look at the speed and
have him return kicks,
exactly. Yeah, because then he returned one. Yeah,
he did. I think that was the only play he made for the Eagles.
Yeah, he was done after that.
So I was going to do this at the end of the show, John, but we'll give you the chance. Eagles, Bucks, Monday night. Quick thoughts, and then Devon and I will give our opinions. What do you think Monday night? How you feeling?
I mean, nobody's feeling good, right? I think they should. I think they should win this one. I don't have much faith in them winning a second game, but the Bucks. Well, they win 9-0 against the Panthers last week.
Yeah, 3 field goals. Yep.
Although if they lose, it'll seem like it was inevitable, and it was like, of course, the collapse was just we all saw it and it was happening. So I don't know. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think they win too, but I'll
be watching.
Zero
endorsement. I'll be watching.
I'll be there ready to hate or ready to cheer, whatever it may be. Yeah. But I think they win, and again, no confidence in saying it.
Yeah, no, John, you're right, man. I mean, the whole thing is they should win, but it wouldn't be surprising if they lose this game at all because of how everything has played out over the last month and a half. Seeing how things are being discussed since last week, going into this Monday night matchup in Tampa, playing Tampa earlier, going back to the first playoff with Jalen Hurts, where he was going against top balls, and the defense really giving him a problem. Now, he was fine this year, but seeing what Martindale did, Wink Martindale with the Giants, and how they defended him, and knowing that they're going to throw a lot of blitzes, and no answer was there, right, Jay, for this past week. It's just in the forefront of your mind of how things go. So if I were to answer your question as you throw it out there, I say they win, but they win a close one, like 27-24, because they can score, I think.
Hypothetical Man says it perfectly in the chat. I don't fear the Bucks. I fear the Eagles.
That's it.
And that's the perfect way to surmise it.
They are their own problem.
Yeah. So, John, check out all of John's writings on allphly.com. We're about to get to our Down on the Farm report, which I've been kind of giddy here today and haven't gotten to yet. But John's been writing up even more on these prospects. So make sure you're checking out his writings. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at 2008Phils. John, we appreciate your time as always on a Friday. And have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Enjoy the football game.
Yeah, go team.
That's right.